Hello friends, how are you all? Welcome to our JavaScript video tutorial. Today we will talk about a very important topic, which is JavaScript string methods. These methods provide you with the tools to work with strings such as modifying text, splitting it, or checking if specific characters are present. So without wasting any time, let's get started with today's session. First, we will see what is string. JavaScript strings are a sequence of character like words or sentence. They help us manage text in program. JavaScript gives us many tools called methods to work with strings. These methods allow us to get parts of strings, combine them, change their appearance like uppercase or lowercase, and much more. We will look at each method one by one. First is caret. This method returns First method is caret. This method returns the character at a specific index in a string. Here you can see in the example that we have made a variable named let str with the value Justin Bieber, and we have written here console.log str.caret2, and this one is returning output s, because in programming languages the indexing does not start from 1, it starts from 0. So when we look at 2, it will be like this: 0, 1 and 2. This is why this is returning index 2 for s. Now we will look at char coded. This method returns the Unicode of the character at a specific index. We have written here the same Justin Bieber, and we have written here console.log str.char code at 2, and this output returns the Unicode of S115. Now we will look at concat. This method combines two or more strings and returns a new string. Here you can see in the example we have made two variables. First is Justin and second is Bieber. And what we have written here, console.log str1.concat str2. So in the output, these two variables are concatenating with each others and combining and returning Justin Bieber. Now we will look at ends with. This method checks if a string ends with a specified strings character. Here you can see that we have written console.log str.ends with Bieber. Now this variable really ends with Bieber. That's why it is returning true. If we write something else, it will return false. Now we will look at includes. This method checks if a string contains the specified strings character. Here you can see we have made a variable Justin Bieber and console.log str.includes Bieber. It is returning true because this variable does include Bieber. And if we write something else here like ikra, and it will return false because this ikra does not contain in variable. Now we will look at index of. This returns the index of the first occurrence of a substring. Here you can see that we have made variable Justin Bieber, and we have written here console.log str.index of Bieber. Now this is returning 7 because Bieber is at 7 number of index. Here you can see that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here you can see that Bieber is starting from index 7. Now we will look at last index of. This method returns the index of the last occurrence of a substring. Here you can see we have written Justin Bieber console.log str.last index of Bieber. Now this was the last index of Bieber. That's why it is giving output of 13. Now we will look at match. This method matches of a strings against a regular expression. Here you can see we have written let str is equals to Justin 123 Bieber, and we have written here console.log, and we have written here str.match, and this backslash and d is used for numbers. That's why it is returning 123 from this variable. Now we will see method match all. These methods return an iterator of all matched result. Here we have made a variable Justin Bieber and we have written here console.log triple.str.match all and I and G, and this is returning I because we are looking for an I, that's why it is returning I. Now we will look at pad start. This method pads the current string with another string at the start. Here we have made str Bieber and we have written here console.log str.pad start 10 and we have written here Justin. That's why it is returning output Justin Bieber. Now we will look at pad end. This method pads the current string with another strings at the end. Here you can see we have made an variable Justin and we have written here console.log str.pad end 12 and Bieber, and it is returning output of Justin Bieber. Here we will talk about repeat. This method returns a new string with a specified number of copies. Here you can see in the example we have made an variable let str Justin and we have written here console.log str.repeat3. That's why it is giving an output Justin Justin Justin. We have because we have written here 3. If we write something else like 4, it will give an output Justin 4 times. Now we will look at replace. This method replaces a substring with a new substring. Here you can see that we have made here a variable let str Justin Bieber, and here we have made console.log str.replace Bieber with Timberlake. That's why it's giving output of Justin Timberlake because we have replaced this Bieber with Timberlake. Now we will look at replace all. These methods replace all matches of a substring with a new substrings. Here you can see in the example let str is equals to Justin Bieber Bieber. Now if I'll write console.log str.replace all Bieber with Timberlake, it will give output Justin Timberlake Timberlake because it have Bieber 2 times. That's why it will replace all the Bieber that are stored in the variable. Now we will look at search. This method searches for a match between a string and a regular expression. Now you can look in the example let str is equals to Justin Bieber and we have written here console.log str.search and we have written here Bieber. It is giving output index of 7 because Bieber starts from 7. Now we will look at slice. This method extracts a part of a string and return is at a new string. Now we have written here Justin Bieber and we have written here console.log str.slice7. We are slicing this variable from index 7 and from index 7 you can see Bieber is written there. That's why it is giving output of Bieber. Now we will look at split. This method splits a string into an array of substrings. Here you can see in the example we have made an variable Justin Bieber and we have written here console.log with str.split and we have written here double quotes, and this is splitting this variable in array of substrings like Justin and Bieber. Now we will look at start switch. This method check if a string start with the specified string. Here you can see in the example let str Justin Bieber and we have written here console.log str.starts with Justin. It is giving true because this variable starts with Justin, and if we write here Bieber it will return false because this variable does not start with Bieber. Now we will look at substrings. This method extracts the character between two indices. Here you can see in the example let str is equals to Justin Bieber and we have written here console.log str.substrings 0 to 6. We are extracting the character between two indices from 0 index to 6th index, and it will give output of Justin because it is from 0 to 6. Now we will look at two lowercase. This method converts a string to lowercase letters. Here you can see in the example, let str Justin Bieber and console.log str to lowercase. Here you can see that J and B is in capital, and in the output you can see that everything of that variable is in lowercase. Now we will look at to uppercase. This method converts a string to uppercase. Here we have made an variable and we have written here console.log str to uppercase. Here you can see that everything is in camel case or lowercase, and in the output this variable is returning everything in uppercase. Now we will look at this another method trim. This method removes white spaces from both ends of a string, and this is white space in the variable. Now if you will write console.log str.trim, in the output you can see that the white spaces are gone, and this is why trims are useful when we want to remove the white spaces. Now we will look at trim start. This method removes white space from the beginning of a string. Here you can see in the example that we have given a white space in the variable Justin, and here we have written console.log str.trim start, and you can see in the output that white space is gone. Now we will talk about trim end. These methods remove white space from the ends of a string. Here you can see that we have made a variable and given a white space in the end of a string. And here we have written console.log str.trim end. And this is giving output without any white spaces. Now we will look at value of this method returns the primitive value of a string object. Here you can see we have written here let str new string Justin Bieber console.log str.value of. This is returning the value of a string object. Now we will look at local compare. These methods compare two strings in the current locale. Here you can see let str is equals to Justin and let str2 is equals to Bieber. Console.log str1 dot local compare str2, and in the output you can see 1 because Justin is greater than Bieber. Here now we will look at another method from char code. This method converts Unicode's values to character. Here you can see in the console.log we have written string dot from char code, and we have written here 74, 117, 115, 116, 105 and 110. This is the Unicode of these words, like 74 is the Unicode of J, 117 is the Unicode of U, 115 is the Unicode of S, 116 is the Unicode of T, 105 is the Unicode of I, and 110 is the Unicode of N. Now we will look at a method normalize. This method returns the Unicode normalization form of a string. Here you can see in the example, we have written here let str Bieber U, and we have given a number 0301, and we have written here console.log str.normalize NFC, and this is returning an output of an normalized accent with what we have written here 0301. Now we will practically look at some of the most commonly used string methods one by one. I will open code editor. I'll write here, I'll access this. I'll write here let str is equals to Justin Bieber. I'll write J in capital. I'll write here console dot log str dot char at 3. Now you can see it is returning S because index of S is 3. Now we will look at char code at. I'll write here just code C code. Code. Here you can see it is returning Unicode of S115. Now we look at another function called concat. I'll come clear this one and I'll clear these two and I'll write here let str1 is equals to just change. And I'll write let str2 is equals to b bar. Now I'll write console dot log str1 dot concat str2. Here you can see that it is concatenating two variable and it is returning output of Justin Bieber. Now we will look at another function called includes. I will remove this. I'll write str dot includes. Now I'll write here Beaver or just B. I'll write here bar. Now it will return true because ber is in this variable bar. Oh, I missed this one. Sorry. Now it will return true. Here you can see it will return true. And if I write something else here, which is not included in that variable, I will write here ikra. It will return false because ikra is not in this variable. Here you can see that it will return false. Now we'll look at another example or method slice. Str.slice. I'll write here 7. Here you can see it is returning Bieber and it does include white space too because you can see I've written here white space too and it returns from the 7 index. That's why it is returning Bieber. Now we look at another method called to uppercase. I'll write here str dot to uppercase. We will see in the output everything is coming in uppercase. Now we will look at another one lowercase. I'll clear this upper and I'll write here lower. Now if you can see in the output everything is coming in a lowercase. Now we will look at another method replace. I'll just write here str dot replace. We have to replace it with the I'll write here ikra. And I'll write here I'll write here beaver. We have to replace beaver with ikra. Put here comma and I put here this. Now you can see in the output it has replaced beaver with ikra and it is giving an output of Justin ikra. Now I will write here replace all. This is another function of replace and I will write here if I write 2 times beaver here it will return 2 times ikra because it will replace all the name of beaver. Here you can see in the output it is returning Justin ikra and I'll clear this one. And now we will look at another one is called trim. I'll give some white spaces here. And what does trim method do is it will clear all the white spaces that are in the variable. I'll write here str dot print. I'll take this. Yeah. Now you can see in the output the white spaces are gone. And there's also another one called print end. I'll just write here print end. We have to be a capital end. Here you can see that in the end there was white spaces and now it's gone. Now if you want to remove the white space from the chart, we have to write here start instead of end. I'll write here start. Oh, print start file. Yeah, you can see in the output that the white spaces from the chart have gone. Now this was all the methods that are most commonly used string methods in JavaScript. So friends, these were some important string methods that will be useful in JavaScript. Be sure to practice, and if you want to know anything else, feel free to ask in the comment. Keep smiling and happy coding. Thank you.